who was in the Marines who can help me decipher this? Who was a Vietnam vet who might be able to tell me some of this stuff? It doesn't have to be just Marines, but if these things translate across military branches and you know, if you are in or if you know anyone else who's in the military and who can tell me these things, please. I genuinely heartfelt ask for help. All right, something cool has happened. I have, as I've been talking to my family members, it's become, you know, how stuff is like, you know something, but then it's like you don't really pay attention to it much. But then it kind of comes to the forefront in your mind. Maybe it's just me. But the thing is that I'm talking about regarding my father, I've been talking to family members about him and what his life was like, trying to figure out why he did what he did and what he went through and stuff like that. And my father was a Vietnam vet, okay? He was a Marine in a very young age, like so many of them were. And once this realization came into my mind, like not realization, but, you know, coming to the forefront of my mind, I started to do some research about the Vietnam War and just try to learn more about it. I never understood what it was about. I didn't know whose side we were on. I didn't know who we were fighting or why, or I just knew that I had seen some movies that talked about it or encompassed scenes from it, some stuff that I wish I had never seen. I just knew it was traumatizing and bad from my what I saw. And then to think of my father being the age that my son is right now, one of my sons is 18, and thinking of my father being 18 years old, being over there, I wanted to know more about what it was like. And so I learned a lot about the Vietnam War. At least I know, like, kind of how it started, who the Americans were on the side of, who was against them, and just whether or not I agree. I don't want to get on anyone's sides. What I have decided as far as this journey with, you know, talking to family and stuff is to leave politics and stuff out of it. So that being said, I wanted to know, I wished I had talked to my dad more about it. Like, you know, I wish I cared back then, but it wasn't even on my radar at all. But I wanted to know, like, what did he do while he was over there? What was life like? When was he actually there? So I asked, or I Googled how to find somebody's DD-214, which is the discharge paperwork for someone who's in the military. And I went to the National Archives because that's what Google told me to go to. And I filled out a request online. It was probably a couple weeks ago. And it came today. I had completely forgotten that I even did it. But I was expecting it maybe months away. But it came today. And when I opened up this document or this letter, I didn't even know what it was until I saw this thing right here. And it's old and it's kind of blurry. But I got it. This is the information, like specific dates about my father and his service in the military and what he did. Like, look at this handwritten stuff, signatures and stuff. Like, this is amazing to me. So, according to this, he was discharged on April 1st, 1971. And the time that he spent in Vietnam, served in Vietnam, November 10th, 1968 to October 29th, 1969. That means he was over there for almost a full year from the time that he was 18 to 19 years old. He went into the military when he was 17. But, you know, I guess he had to go and, you know, go to training and stuff like that. But he was actually in Vietnam during that time. There is something, though, I'm asking for help because I do not know how to decipher any of this. I know that he was honorably discharged. But like, I want to know, like, what was the name of his unit? Is that on here? I see a lot of codes and stuff. Who was in the Marines who can help me decipher this? Who was a Vietnam vet who might be able to tell me some of this stuff? I know it's a far cry because I don't know, I don't get a lot of views on these videos, but if someone could help me, if someone could let me know who I might could talk to, someone can reach out to me or tell me who I can reach out to so that I can ask these questions because I really want to know. Number 12 says last duty assignment and major command, and I see a bunch of, I got the light in my eyes right now from the flash, but like HQBN, HQMC, BH, maybe that's a place. And then 5A, grade, rate, or rank, like LCPL. What does that mean? And would anything on here tell me what the name of his unit was? Like, where maybe I could find other people who are in his unit. Maybe somebody knew my dad. He had awards and medals and decorations. Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry with Palaframe? I don't know what that means. Vietnamese Service Medal. National Defense Service Medal. Vietnamese Campaign Medal with device. And something I really did want to know, and I was able to determine thanks to the help of my sister. And if not, it doesn't have to be just Marines, but if these things translate across military branches and you know, if you are in or if you know anyone else who's in the military and who can tell me these things, please. I genuinely heartfelt ask for help. But it says his primary duty, I guess while he was in Arlington, Virginia. This looks like after he got back from Vietnam, I guess. It says motor vehicle operator, MTR, VEHOPR. So I guess he was a driver, motor vehicle operator, but the dates of this says January 1970, January 1971, July 1971, 1972, because he was discharged. I might be reading this wrong. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. He wasn't discharged 1971. The final date I see on here is January 21, 1972. So that might be when he was actually discharged. But this stuff, primary duty motor vehicle operator, looks like he was back in the United States, but he just was not out of the service yet. So I would love to know what he did while he was in Vietnam and if any of that information is on here. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, I don't know what this is. But I mean, it's got his address of where he was living, either the time he was discharged or the time he was enlisted. But this is stuff I would have never known. How awesome. How amazing. I did some digging and I asked and I researched and I got something. Like, yes, I learned something more about my father. Besides, talking to people, I have been learning things about him. But I learned something that I wanted to know, and that is just really encouraging. So I have made my request for help. Please, if you can help me, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. Yeah, I'm going to just keep going. Love you guys.